So say no manya industry in penny for and I'm no more better I say. Sadiq Preso or Mammy and name better no. As I know in needing for this show. Ever later.
We any first episode of Zion Felix Roundup. Into the way apart from every episode every week be a Zion Felix. Or industry for better so my roundup. And I'm
a job for the moment.
I'm content idea.
So every weekend, I'm going to come back to say how we will sustain this particular program. Now, and then I am for the first episode of Run Up with Zion Felix. Run Up. Sorry, don't be surprised. New shower. So something is happening here in the country. I mean, one of the biggest, let me say, movement or record label here in the country called Big Nation or Benetton Music Group. I can say issues be about Babaho. I was here because a queer man and queen so it be affecting all of us in the industry because in a stakeholders Kabai DB and queer he is Sadiq Abdullahi, one of the boss of 3 Music, organizing 3 Music Awards. He is Cooker, Uncle White, on the program 6 o'clock at 6. Because 6 one of Bokunia started out. He's also a critic. And then I have Arnold Asamoah Bedu. Entertainmentg.com, but back on man fan count. Entertainment related. He's also a critic and then a writer. He's the boss of entertainmentg.com. And then I have Olawaha Obaba and I'm more Ricky Rich. Ricky Rich.
Like double risk.
They were there here. You become about Stonebwoy, Blakk Cedi, Kelvin Boy, Beam Nation, and Benetton Music Group. We'll cry even count because she's under there. My name is Zion Felix. I'm your host for today. Let me start from Arno because on a actual story now.
Yes, sir.
What is happening? What have you heard about this whole issue?
Okay. Senior here no. You jumane no. So you say stories be based on speculation. You been so based on reality. Now. Speculations are always publishable. Once there is speculations, once you get sources, bang story, and you can publish the story. I mean BBC, Yahoo, Huffington Post, they all do it. You see, such story way based on speculation. The facts say, the little rift, and I say when you kakra war Stonebwoy, and anyway, long time manager Blakk Cedi in Tem. Now. Sources are close to camp no say factors be na akofan same way na eba one transactions be a course so tamamo sugar European tour no and I sent a be amba normal I mean yin artist manager relationship they no be to me
as in Stonebwoy na te Blakk Cedi ase
and for now they ain't me and specify the exact and I say the or instigating issue no but you say one of the factors are the cost of reft no. And the second one also know control any management of some of the artists or more label especially Kelvin Boy and to some extent Ovi, but I think the focus now is on Kelvin Boy and also the misunderstanding so and the third factor now the involvement and I say the influence of Stonebwoy and the wife and Stonebwoy and the career and I say label no how are things are so these are the pointers I pick up from causes and as a causative agents are for and as a sources close to reliable sources close to two no HSA interwantawa cost between the two so
it kind of look like Stonebwoy and a Blakk Cedi as there's some separation be
yes for now because any of the parties know to confirm or deny the story that's why we maintain it as and I say we keep it as speculation because say when issues be said by it's always difficult for the two parties involved to actually come out and speak about it until it gets to a certain level and so I'm yelling at entertainmentg.com we believe that when we've tried and they are always tight-lipped on coming out with the real facts but I'm sure say I mean when you speak to the industry people they might almost automatically because story about and I feel they what to say industry because quite anymore but I think so the feeling is ubia in the guts to actually come out and speak about it but me who story who a little bit of evidence decided to push it out because and then the truth about. So for us, the source is not reliable. We are not sure about the information, but we are very sure about the sources, and we know based on the name behind the scenes, until the two actually come out to substantiate the cause. That's when we actually get to know the cause, why the causes. But for now, I can tell you for a fact, issues will hold between the two. Even we've seen some messages, text messages, they are saying they are no more working together.
They are working together.
Yes.
Text message.
Messages now, back said they are no more working together, and
who is when
between the two, say we are no more working together. And back on some thumbs up, say, well, I get it, you get it, or yes. That's the tier no for now no.
Ayo, Pacho show no, it didn't make sense. First episode, I found a critic show no. It's now but I'm sure. I'm sure it will because I mean it's for the betterment. Bro, Papa. Englishman, it's So Sadiq is, as I said earlier, honorary boss of 3 Music Awards, and then baby, or she can't be. Arnold has said what he has said. What have you also heard?
Me, okay, so I haven't really heard some of the things that Arnold kind, but I think that this and I put in my home story on Arnold's page, and I reached out to him. I mean, is it true? Is it something that is ahead? I can understand, because of busy, am I busy? I think in the last few weeks we've been working on Afro Nation we depend that I'm ready to really pay attention to these things, but I haven't heard anything to this extent. But what I saw is I just prayed and hoped that it's not true and it shouldn't be confirmed, because I'm of the view that the two, Stonebwoy and Cedi, have been a very formidable working pair all this while. Stonebwoy has been that stable, Cedi has been that stable, level-headed, and very effective manager anybody can have in his corner. We all can see the extent to which Stonebwoy's career is going into in leaps and bounds, essentially. And so, to that extent, I think that the two of them can go on and on and on, regardless of whatever issues, problems, and issues, the issue maybe are. We all have, even our area, we have issues and problems. So for me, my wish for the two is that even if there are problems, I'm praying and really hoping that it shouldn't lead to a certain level of breakup. I think the two of them can go another 10 years of really, or probably more years or forever, of staying together and making it happen.
You've been with them for a very long time. I don't like Nasiana. Most of us and most people get to know Blakk Cedi. Once the managers and tell home. For how long have you known Blakk Cedi and Cedi and Stonebwoy?
Blakk Cedi has been there from the beginning of Stonebwoy's career, from the get-go. I mean, I remember time and Stonebwoy from the early shows. What a lot of people don't know again is that Blakk Cedi is my in-law, my wife. That's her cousin, in fact. But I knew of him from the early days of Stonebwoy career, because it was this time, very very early, very very early. It was more or less like the road manager for Stonebwoy, sort of. Stonebwoy. He was there even before, if I remember, even before Carl. Carl left. He stayed, and he's been there. He survived all the eras, and he's moved from being a road manager to being a very effective all-round business manager or talent manager. He's very grounded.
I know Carl. Somebody watching us might not know Carl. I mentioned it. Carl,
Carl. Sometime back, no, I'm not a Stonebwoy manager. Some time back, Carl was the main guy that was managing Stonebwoy, and Blakk Cedi was the road manager. But after Carl, Cedi moved up, and so far within the last few years, he's done very good with Stonebwoy as a manager.
Okay. Yeah, but I heard the benefits and everything. But let me go to Sakura and I say. I know Sakura and I say. What have you also heard about this whole Stonebwoy, Blakk Cedi, Kelvin Boy OV issue, Beam Nation, and then Bernity Music Group?
If you know Saminiwa and Elombini are all part of it. So I think it was Saturday and I spoke to OV, and I realized I see or dream in your home. So when I heard this, initially I feel say a hype for way, but minis somebody work aside. I don't know what I say. I say they've allowed artists to turn two bodies against each other, and
As in the members in the group, no.
yes, as a Kevin Boy, attorney, ama Stonebwoy and Debbie, no,
Calvin and Stonebwoy
Blakk Cedi, any Stonebwoy are having issues
because of Calvin Boy.
because of Kevin Boy, and I thought me you know, per no can more of like stability, being the main person, the face or the manager on the ground. Blakk Cedi wanted to stabilize the issue. Into the main dealing with the issue in this anoma. And I say Stonebwoy really take you over and this anoma. And
Stonebwoy has taken over management.
like on an echo tour. And on one Stonebwoy in church say I have my wife with me and we are doing stuff in this anoma. So a lot of meanings are being read on postings and other things. But me main issue here, a lot of radio, and I think HFM for the allegation about OV, how OV signing in this and I think the sources are wrong because I remember my days with highly spiritual. Na OV, Kewa, and a pushy na the studio no use for rehearsals to so be winning, and there is this lady I able to Aisha and Elenke and Oma Nissan. Yes, but OV was direct.
Aisha Mode, were you? Oh, you were so about Ghana.
I don't know. I thought
Yeah,
she was
yeah, but it was a direct thing. Yeah, we know it was between say Obeba highly spiritual and us Obeko. But then not highly spiritual, guys never on those decide this Obeko. Speculation air course no. It be a true, it be a fake, but yes, we know about it. Senebe are affected artists, you know. Kevin Boy has struggled from the media and some of the things association and some of senior ya branding and senior position ye nya abotre kakra me VGM issues by and Blakk Cedi was thick and thick ujinemu edenim kwato ho e ma brand so me manta wan hwe issues beba but senior be resolve no better. Say an a cow, issue say an a buy and a cow call. A issue say and a buy a misunderstanding say and a buy and a cow call. And beginning no a affected brand no it take a time and some stability and some baby. So we are bano. And there is this rumor say Blakk Cedi on the personal label.
Yes.
Say me who paper no. On country me no. A perception, a rumor, and a mechano. To say Abba outer is being affirmed. Me who say documentation, you see, allegation. Yes, I say was signing Obi was signing Kevin Boy was those things. A hearsay. They say hearsay. Unya fat now of affirma. I mean, who between at you? Let's be just as an not kind sources now information you can. These are people in there, but I feel na as ye ye shape conversation now share the echo because I mean it's in graph super so me didn't ye de nchine bibiri gum and ye di mako gum, but at the end of the day omon be di aduanu no you say they are not saying it, but ye nya but the issues in the real. Say Stonebwoy London. Or no one. Blakk Cedi way.
The checking was in London and the Instagram post.
And you don't know now about.
My name is Felix. I'm here with Industry Play. We can't talk about Ghanaian showbiz or creative industry without leaving them out. I have Arnold here with me. I have Abdul Sadiq here with me, and then Koka on the Soha. Before I continue, I can just say code Dubai and South Africa from 25th October to 3rd November, 25th October to 3rd October, 14,000 Ghana cedis and 17,000 Ghana cedis for gold and platinum, respectively. Uchia, Ovisa, ticket accommodation ni nyina no e can who be Kushepe Travel and Tour for say from 0503779371 0503779371 Felix and my people, let's go into now. Arnold, this issue happening, do you think that should in the first Stonebwoy impacts no Abwa Kelvin Boy, I mean high in term.
Of course, I mean, I don't know anybody who will be denied that fact. Kelvin Boy association with Stonebwoy and Bennington Music Group as a label, no, Abu and career. There's no two ways about that. It's undisputable because Stonebwoy, the influence in the clouds and in the pedigree, I will show you. It's any product we are the baton who be there's a potential, there's a probability to say a show, and we've all seen Kelvin Boy. I mean, from the time you introducing the chain up to now. I mean, you cannot name your top 10 new generation of artists without mentioning Kelvin Boy. And Ninginano, in the association with Stonebwoy and the BMG label. So that one there, clearly.
So now Stonebwoy's influence in Abuano, I'm gonna draw. In case Bibia Yetibia and Passe or Freewa, is it going to make him come down or be maintaining or become higher?
Well, first of all, let me state the air cost way I mean, they know that we've seen artists and artist manager relationship there all the time. It depends on the two how they would want to resolve it. Or more assess your relationship and see how our born and probably their losses. They compare the two and see say advantages no doors one. Then they would have to come back and work together because in our share or more relationship it's more business than a brotherly. You understand? Baku cry it's made in life to her. I mean, we saw what happened on the VGMA. It goes beyond business. I'm sure with time they'll be able to resolve. But to your question, it depends on Kelvin Boy if he wants to leave the label based on speculations. And the facts say Stonebwoy, I don't follow on Instagram and blah 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 blah. Listen, if Kelvin Boy, if he BMG, he will not be the first artist with a label. There are a lot of artists with a label they've gone on to do well for themselves. Case in point, Wizkid was with EME, EME, a lot of people were feeling say, I mean, for so many times, not the Banky W, they thought they own to me make it, but we've all seen the rise. I mean, he's grown bigger, no disrespect to Banky, but he's growing even bigger than
Stonebwoy left Samini.
Exactly. Arguably, people bet to me, I can say, okay, high grade, no. So it depends on the artist and how he wants to take his career. There are also some artists who may feel label career so doing there and as form because label we should not underestimate the influence of label because label there is some amount of support, some amount of funding, amount of push, and a label no connections in the industry. So label that's some of the advantages that we so way artists now also know which me break it away in such a way say. Which means you have contacts in then you can leave the label because once you leave the label you already established your links already. But say we artists now do some persona what's our links now and that's what's our connection in the influence no clout. If you label no super baba from anything I'm sure and penny brain is artists be even some high profile artists no man is the judge my pen no career no as a from because some more managers in ABBs, even for interviews, some call and sure say they talk to the presenters, producers. It's a managers if you pay the artists find difficult actually because not own him send a human so it depends on every artist and how why establishing the home based on advantages when you're with the label. So it depends. It could go up, it could go down. It depends on artists.
So Sadiq, should Stonebwoy and Cedi separate? Is it going to shock you?
It will be heartbreaking. I mean, for me, it will be really, really heartbreaking to see the two of them part ways. I still remember how their very humble beginnings as an industry pair together in the industry, and how from that time till now, Stonebwoy has gone on to achieve global prominence and is well on his way to achieving global greatness. Cedi has also grown from a roadie or road manager to becoming one of the most influential and level-headed anybody can have in the space. I mean, he's become a very influential music executive. only in Ghana, but his contacts stretch wide, and I feel that the two of them, the future looks great for the two together. Yeah, and I'm still hoping that whatever it is, issues come and go. Issues will happen, implosions will happen, but I've always of the belief that implosions happen to shape people and direct people. Whatever implosion it is, I want the two of them to look each other in the mirror and look themselves in the mirror and look how far they've come and how, from where they are coming from and from how far they've come, they were not guaranteed the success they've achieved today. I mean, how do you look back to all the things that you've achieved together and allow it to just go, And for me, it will really be heartbreaking. I'm not praying for this to happen. I honestly hope and wish that the two of them, all of them, have a certain level-headedness that works. When the calm comes after the storm, I'm hoping and praying that the two of them will make peace, resolve whatever issues there is, and begin to march towards the future. There's so much work to do. I mean, to achieve where they are going, you can see where Stonebwoy is going, for instance. I mean, and you can see where Cedi is also going as a music executive. The two of them needs to be able to achieve it. I mean, together. It will be beautiful. It will be beautiful to see the story blossom into something very, very great.
Right now, everyone say, Blakk Cedi. Now, Stonebwoy put it to you or bring the option that let Kelvin Boy go, let's work together. So knows Kelvin Boy Monko since you've signed him out. Will you go with Kelvin Boy or you let Kelvin Boy go and work with your Stonebwoy now on achieving things all these years?
I think that indeed, if that is a problem, there's a way it can be resolved. The way it can be resolved is that around the world, if you look, when you say Kevin Laos, Kevin Laos is one of the top managers you can have. Currently, I think it's Trey Songz's manager. As a manager, no. When you say Kelvin Lyles is Trey Songz's manager, he's not like his personal manager in the ways we have it here. It's a whole company. So Kelvin Lyles has his own company. He has a whole team that manage Trey Songz as well as everybody else. Given the fact that Cedi holds a lot of value and is a very proven, has shown and proven to be a very good and effective manager, I think that they should find a way to work. It possibly could be that they agree that going forward, he possibly may not even be a personal manager, but they can structure it such that someone can have a personal manager and maybe Cedi can be their manager, but he will be managing him via his company. I understand Cedi has a company called Blakk Entertainment. He can manage Stonebwoy and anybody else that he wishes to manage under that, and he still can be effective. He still can be effective. But in all of this, your conversations. I mean, and say I don't think anything is beyond repair. I mean, there's nothing like that. Asemba, it's now America. I mean, they are two matured men. They've moved from boys to men. It's like they've moved from boys.
Situation by wife abemo because there's no way say Stonebwoy as me wife issue.
Well, it's business. I mean, family is very important, and family. Yeah, in some decisions, family is very difficult to make, but I can understand that reason and logic should supersede everything. I'm very certain that going ahead to still have Cedi as manager and still even having the wife on board as a team could still work. It's the business. Look at the business part of it.
Is a wife being a upper hand over Cedi because I mean, or your wife or can be a. I was the time when Ebony, Rough Town. I must say not leading. Coca, I'll ask you one last question. I was not time when Ebony, Rough Town. I must say the girl no, the only free mono, because there was some sort of something happening. Okay, be it supersedes what the management can. Wife, I mean, your wife is a wife. Okay, be to supersede what your manager will come. We say
no. There has to be a perfect balance. I mean, people need to be able to find a perfect balance between family, managing familial relationships, and the business. Wife can say all the things. If she's part of the management and she's directing and doing her work as a management, why not? Why not? It shouldn't be that because she's your wife, when she's part of your management, not it shouldn't be taken into consideration. Sometimes our wives could turn out to be some of our best advisors. I mean, their intuitions work great, but there should be a perfect balance. Stone is a very he's a very wise person. He's very reflective. Cedi as well is. I'm very certain that he knows where he's going to. The signs are clear that Stonebwoy is leading to greatness. He's on his way to greatness. He just has to look himself in the mirror and say, am I going to allow these things to just destroy all because of this? You have to find a perfect balance. Some people have moved on to have their wives in their businesses and I'll still have the perfect balance of it, But when it gets to the business element of it, you've got to be able to detach the emotions. I mean, Beyonce fired her dad, the papa on Nechano. She fired her dad as a manager and moved on and had an investment banker as her manager. What's that company? Or management company? Was it the Springfield Entertainment to say it? Yeah. She fired her dad. So no emotions. You need to be able to detach the familial and then the loving relation, the emotive connection to your wife. You need to be able to detach it from the business. Stonebwoy is on his way to greatness. The business of he reaching that particular greatness and the benefit it holds to everybody, including even the industry, is but very important. At that point, the team or anybody advising Stonebwoy must be able to detach that and say, well, this is emotions, this is emotive. Every artist is an emotive being, regardless. Okay. But you need to be able to detach it and take the right decisions that would really lead you to the greatness.
So let me ask Kuka my two questions. Last one, I'll ask everybody, but to answer in your boom. Right now, we pray that the things that yet seen a bit me resolve in case it is happening. But do you see who is going to suffer? And then again, last question: how did they solve this issue?
They have to put pride and look at business and loyalty. Those things will come to play. And which artist is bringing food to the table? You have to look at all those things and take a decision. Nobody will struggle if it's a strategic and a business decision with a focus. When it's not greed and it's not in a personal interest, when all the parties and everybody concerned issues are being addressed, they can decide to go different ways and nobody will lose. And I don't think it will be a test in our industry and it will be an eye-opener how we deal and resolve. I also want to see how our structures, management, even music and other stakeholders who will seek to benefit from the brands because of the festive season and how they will benefit. How do we all manage this? And then we will all go round. We will go perfect.
Thank you very much, Koka. I know to Stonebwoy, Benetton Group, everything happening there, how do we solve it?
I believe it's a between me and more assessment and figure out if relationship over the years, because they've been working for a long time, like Sadi Kayan, for quite a long time. And so they know themselves. They are more than brothers than business partners. And so they do the assessment and figure out, say, based on a Jumaya over the years, moving forward, looking into the future, and so working together. And once they do their own assessment and figure out how it goes, they will know. Secondly, we should also not downplay business, because mind you, Cedi is also an individual. He would also want to build his brand. You never know any aspirations and any ambitions. Maybe he doesn't want to be an artist manager for a long time. He would also want to grow in the industry and own a label. And that's how come you have the Black Cat something, Black Army record label. So maybe I also any ambition, Maybe I use artist management as a step or as a launch pad for greater things. Maybe also as a no. We do a certain level of when your popularity, when your fame, when your connections, between your branching into in a domain now. Why not? If Stonebwoy so if Felix say no, or also do a certain level he can move on and do greater things. Why not? I don't think that we should, in as much as we are calling on them to patch Omonema, it's also okay if they go their separate ways and go to be two individuals or mobile in the industry. For example, some of beats that in Stonebwoy party ways, and some of us were worried because we felt chemistry never went there was no way I'll meet me as survivor and as a back meet me as survivor during their breakup. But what do we see? Stonebwoy has gone on to win a lot awards, local, international. He's gone on to do greater things. We don't know about beats that were arguable, but definitely say we should always not be pleading, and begging, sometimes no it be they take a step back. Yeah, allow them to actually pursue their dreams and more ambitions. And for we could have two strong labels, one for Cedi, one for Stonebwoy and Fanta. The most important thing is if they decide to go on their separate ways, it'll be very amicable. It's in future they can come back and collaborate and work together. That's all we need. But if indeed they want to go their separate ways in a very amicable way, we should allow it. And serious.
Sadiq, should we allow them to go, or we should try and then solve it? How do we solve it?
For me, I still think that they still have some unfinished business to finish off, and I still feel the way the two of them have grown and have found a certain chemistry. My view is that the two of them should still be together, at least for the next few years. But then again, like Arnold is saying, if the two of them sit down and realize that they don't have a future in each other, why not? I mean, I have gone on to work with some brands where I managed Kaki at a point in time, but I have a life today. At a point in time, I also worked with Viasata. Nobody thought that I could ever move on from, because my personality and the Viasat brand was so interconnected because of the good work we did. But I mean, today I have a future. The brand also has a future. Like Arnold is saying, if I believe she knew I say I into me in CC, but if the two of them sit down and realize at the point it's gotten to, it's beyond salvageable, and the two of them can't work now. It should be done in a ways that is beautiful. People can move on and do that. I mean, today Julio had been one of Shatawale's very, very strong managers after Bulldog, but today Julio is no more managing Shatawale, but the relationship is cordial, it's fine, it's affable. You see Julio still sharing and pushing works from Wally, and Wally is also moving on and he's doing great. So it could be the same way if indeed it's gotten to the point where they feel that the two of them can never work together. I think it should be done in a very good way, such that the door is still open for both parties, so they can move on to manage and grow Black Entertainment into a very good company, and Stonebwoy can still pursue his way to greatness. That is if it gets to the point where the two of them think that we can never ever work together. But for me, I still have a certain hope that the two of them can find rhythm, connect, and make it happen. In the very good ways. And there are a lot of examples that can look. They've had, issues could come, and was that manager could actually come to mind apart from Calvin Laos. There's a number of them where you can move, you create your company, and there's many instances like me. I moved from a particular company that I was working on within the last few months, and I have a small consultancy that's actually even servicing the company. The door has not been shut, so it's possible where you can move from a particular brand, but you can create your own company that provides services for him in the ways that it's a win-win for everybody. If that could work as well, I hope that they could look at those options as well. But there are a lot of options left to them. But they are two adults, two mature adults, two knowledgeable adults who have worked together for a while. They've been well traveled. They understand the space very well and know where they are going. And so I think that the future looks great, either together or individually. But if it's going to be individually, it needs to be managed well, and they need to go on a very cordial note as much as possible.
Thank you very much, Sadiq. Thank you, Arnold. It's been great with these two great industry players I discuss. If as a pilot, we sit down and then think about it proper and know how we can bring to you this particular show every weekend. Now, yes, we are here. How we can help improve the Ghanaian creative arts industry. My name has always been Zion Felix, and I was here with Sadiq Abdullahi, the CEO of 3 Music. I'm going to organize 3 Music Awards, and then Arnold Asamoah Baidu, boss of entertainmentga.com, a critic and also a columnist inside the graphic showbiz. Nakoka, and so our and also our Roman production, Uncle White production house, and then my cameraman, our rapper Miller, and also Netech. Follow me on Instagram at ZionFelix.com. See you another time. Bye.